All right, this is the H.955 Conference Committee. We're back after a break. Talk thereabouts. We're, I think, go back to maps, right?
Yes.
With John Adams. So, one of the, just to say it, one of the differences in approaches is that you focus on SUs and maintaining SU boundaries. We focused on districts. That's just the fundamental difference in approach to this.
Yeah, I would say that SU boundaries were one of the things we focused on. And keeping those structures intact, including school districts, within the SU boundaries. The other thing was ADM.
Yeah.
And trying not to make these merger groupings too large.
Yeah.
We also focused on where kids go to CTE, and we focused on just geographic issues.
Yeah, and we focused on districts, taking testimony, getting a sense of where people wanted to be, and that was kind of what it was. We focused on districts.
I guess I'm curious, how do you?
I'm not arguing the point. We just did that.
How do you determine where somebody wants to be without doing like a full survey of the people?
Well, what we did was we offered opportunity to testify for months, and we actually had the School Boards Association twice send out an email blast, and we got a lot in. That's how.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, and I would just say, same. We had our maps up and available for quite some time to look at, and also got input as well. But we also use the other criteria. We've talked about how we don't want school districts of a certain size that are too big. And there are just some geographic challenges, such as where the lake is, such as the size of the Northeast region.
I was only offering it to say, that's what we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so do we want to just put up the Senate groupings and look at ADM? Is that a worthwhile venture for folks to sort of see, oh, didn't realize that made that? Or, which we can do, I've got a few specific questions. I have a few specific suggestions that are relatively easy. I mean,
based off the Senate map? Or
Yeah.
based,
yeah, well,
it's easier then?
Yeah, potentially.
so let me, so I would say, just a couple of small things. The Wells and Middletown Springs change that you have there, I think probably makes some sense. And I think in the spirit of everybody really should be looking at merging, I think it would be worthwhile on our map and on yours to have both Champlain Valley and Mount Mansfield at least have a discussion. I realize that is a huge ADM number, and we sort of don't have them, neither one of us have them with anybody merging. But it just seems like they are neighbors, they're pretty high functioning school system, and that we should at least put them in one group rather than two, just to say, hey, at least have a conversation. And maybe a very short conversation that says we are way too big to merge into one district. But just an idea I wanted to put out there.
Champlain Valley and
MMU.
okay, yeah.
On our map, that is group 13 and group 14.
15 and 17 on the Senate map, I think.
So you,
Even 17.
so do we have your map or could you, I don't have all I have for Senate maps is this, which doesn't have any.
This
one's on it, yeah.
Where's the map?
Senate Ed guidance.
You don't have this? Is there a version of this one?
Yeah, that's the one I've been looking at.
Thought we all got some, but maybe not. You don't have that one?
So
I don't know if it's posted as well.
it's the posting of districts. The guidance are ones are posted, so. If you do want to do numbers next to that, so you know which ones are on this, then I can tell you. One, here if you want to mark your maps.
These are
These are numbered.
marked.
Okay.
Thank you.
This, however, doesn't have your change for Pain Mountain.
No. I think we did that only in the.
Yeah, I don't think we changed it on the map.
Yeah,
It's
we're not
just
trying
in
to
the
change
bill.
map.
Yeah, Pain Mountain is Northfield and Williamstown, right? Is that correct? Pain Mountain, but you moved, is it just those two towns?
Yeah.
Going to the green. Into the green.
Where'd they move to?
To the green.
The green, that's what I thought. Okay. It's just Northfield and Williamstown?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so then just some questions that I had as I was going through kind of the southeast portion. Searsburg. We had Searsburg in our group 5. And you moved them into your group 1, which aligns them with sort of the Bennington, Arlington, Pownell areas. And again, they're already in a CISA they're already within the current existing CISA and they're already within that current SU. So I guess I'm just a little curious as to why that.
I don't remember from Super. I think it was only that. That's the way that Searsburg looks, and everything is connected to Bennington from Searsburg. They're one of the mountain towns next to Woodford. So you've got them where?
With their SU and with their CISA in our group 5.
Your group 5. It's,
Put them in their group 2.
yeah, it's in our group 2. I don't think that's a.
No, it's in,
Oh, I see. You put
It
it.
should be in there too, you're saying?
I was just asking why they put them.
So our group 2 is essentially the southeast. Southeast and Wyndham Southwest together.
We moved over Rinsboro and at their request over Rinsboro and Stanford into the kind of Wyndham area. Rankin County over in the Wyndham. That was a request we had.
Which
one? I don't know which towns they are, but we moved into our group 2. We initially had them in group 1, we moved Woodsboro and Stanford into the Wyndham district.
Yeah, it's just that Searsburg is left out of that, I think is.
We can talk about that.
Yeah, I just, they're already in that CISA, they're already in that,
Yeah.
school fine.
So Searsburg.
Same sort of question with Stratton. You moved them out of their SU and out of their currently existing
Yeah.
CISA.
We got a very specific request from the Stratton School Board to be moved.
Okay. All right. Wardsboro and Dover.
Kind of mountain towns, directed in that direction. I think also that, if you put Wardsboro, and Dover into a different group, they're just gonna vote no. This gives them a chance to actually perhaps vote yes because of the construct.
I don't quite follow.
They are both, K-8 operating. Non-operating, they're all single districts now. We're trying to give them a home.
Doesn't Dover have a backup, what is it called? An ID program? Aren't they operating an ID program?
No. Dover doesn't. Dover is non-operating. High school.
Can I ask a question? but, because I wasn't involved in these conversations because I'm not on the ed committee. Yeah, but, you know, I'm just looking at Act 73 and the task force that you were on, Beth, and that was, I'm sorry, Rep. Quimby, there were criteria that were supposed to be looked at, and I'm assuming you all looked at them in your, when you were working on your maps. And I'm wondering what criteria, you mentioned a few, there are very specific criteria about how to consider moving districts. And I'm wondering if you both could just like walk through what criteria you used.
So I wasn't on the redistricting task.
No, in your committee, when
So
you were
again-
making the maps.
Yes, again, it was ADM,
Okay,
where kids went to CTE,
yep,
what current school system they're in, whether it's a district or a SU.
mhm,
And then we also included where kids go to CTE.
uh-huh,
And then there was just some basic geography.
geography, like, yeah,
Yeah.
what about
We
you
did
guys?
everything except worry about SU boundaries. Same thing, except we didn't pay attention. We thought more about districts than SU boundaries.
I don't understand what you mean by that.
If the district wanted to move out of an SU, or it made sense for them to be somewhere else, we thought about it as districts, not SUs. Where
Well-
the district wanted to be. That's just what we used those criteria, but we thought more about, except we didn't focus as much on current SU boundaries as the House did.
I see, okay, but you looked at where kids went to CTE,
We considered all.
you
all
looked
of
at
them.
the ADM counts?
Yes.
You looked
We
at,
were aware of, for instance, that, we knew a few were high.
and geographic
Absolutely.
constructs, okay.
I will add one more factor that we felt very strongly about, and it pertains to this area, is that there is an existing CISA that is providing services to these school systems already.
Yeah,
And the ones that we have within that remaining of that CISA.
And we thought about the fact that, and again, not just for the point of putting everything on the table. We thought about this as being kind of a point for a new beginning, because we're looking at things differently and wanted to give districts an opportunity to not be necessarily locked into where they are and be able to move. That's what made sense for them.
Did you use a criteria of some kind to sort of how you classify because they asked, like who is they? Formal request from school
Board
board?
members, or school board chairs in particular, school boards asking this, like in the case of Stratton, school board asked us.
Were there other cases where it was school board
Yes,
asking?
yes. For instance, when I remember in particular, Hancock and Granville wanted to be in the area that we put them in, and they wanted to maintain the options that they have now. And there were others.
Yeah.
Now, our map reflects, I can't remember all of the times where, but our map reflects a lot of testimony that we received after we put out requests to the School Boards Association.
Yeah, I mean, Hancock and Granville are the same.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
obvious.
So no sort of like formal.
We did not have formal criteria, although we talked about all of those things.
I guess I'm a little challenged by how we resolve some of these differences in that in this region, especially in areas that are already within an existing CISA and that have membership there and have, and maybe getting services from it and then sort of pulling them out and putting them in a different SU and a different CISA. I'm just not quite, I think there's some challenge there, even legally.
There may be a challenge, but again, we looked at this as not letting ourselves get locked into the existing in the context of the fact that we're moving things and we are making changes.
Right. No one's, and we are sitting here talking about something where nobody is locked into anything. But again, we were really looking at some sort of hard lines that are pre-existing, that are there.
What is the town that's in a different CISA on the Senate map? Is it Sears?
So in the proposal from the Senate, Searsburg, Dover, Wardsboro, Stratton would all be moved to the left and into the, I guess, into the brown. Yeah, you can sort of see the sort of this, in the Senate map, sort of that green is reaching sort of down into the blue.
Mhm.
So the ones that sort of make up that, which is Stratton, Somerset, Wardsboro, and Dover are in the existing operating CISA currently.
Oh, they're in the one that already exists,
Yeah.
not one that's proposed.
Correct.
Oh, well, we shouldn't, I'm sorry.
Well, again, we focused a lot on what community wanted.
I wonder if since John is here, we could focus on, the ADM for a
Sure.
little while.
Yeah.
Does that make sense, Peter?
So, John, could you put up the Senate guidance map? And if we could kind of walk us through some of the groupings, and what I think what we'd like to know is perhaps ADM in those groupings.
Yes, I should be able to do that. For the record, I'm John Adams, Director of Center for Geographic Information. Let me see if I can screen share here. Can you all see my screen now?
We can. It's not colored in with groupings.
Okay. I just wanted to point out before opening up the school district builder here, we've added, this is in the School Explorer map. There's now a conference committee grouping where we have put the Senate draft and the House draft, as well as outlines if you wanted to compare one with the other and pull in any of the other layers with different criteria. So if that's of interest to anyone, and or if there are other layers or proposals, this is where we would likely add them in the School Explorer.
Where's the School Explorer link?
It is, if you go to, it looks like I can't, can I add anything in the chat here?
Oh,
Probably not.
we're not on the chat either.
Okay, so that wouldn't help. If you go to map.vermont.gov/education.
Got it.
In terms of the Senate ADM numbers, these, I don't know how best to make this helpful or useful for you all, but
But because we can't really see that well, it may be easier for just us to ask you questions based on groupings. So,
Okay.
for example, upper left gray otherwise,
Hope.
otherwise known as number 12, grouping number 12.
Yes.
What's the ADM there?
9,122.
And then I don't know, this does not have your pane mount switch in this. But if you could, tell us what the current ADM is on number 18, which is the bright light blue.
6,855.
88. So that's Central Vermont minus paint, no, without Pain Mountain and Northfield Ave.
6,000.
How about number 11, upper right-hand corner?
4,113.
Based on geography. Uh, I was wondering about size.
What about pink and purple, CVU and MMU?
Oh, yeah,
Group,
well, you guys do have them. Is that
16 and 15?
15 and 17?
It's 15,
16, yeah.
15 and 16. So what is
15
that? What
is
is,
2,599.
and how about
And
16?
is 4,126.
What did you have for 15 again?
2,599.
And now could you, I don't want to drive the train here, but people have more questions. I was just thought they hadn't put up the house guidance map and we could ask about some of the same areas.
The house guidance map, I don't actually have the builder configuration for it, so I can't give you the ADM numbers like I am with the Senate one, unless someone emails me a link to the latest House version.
I think Peter's figuring out how to do that right now.
Okay.
Fortunately, I may be sending you just a PDF, right? Which is what we've had posted. But you must have created the PDF for us. Anyway, I just sent the link to the PDF that we had.
I do have the PDF, and I have that up on the screen. I do not have it in the
In the
interactive
builder.
builder app.
Okay. I guess I would just say, Beth, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but we really tried to sort of stick to that 2,000 to 4,000 range. As we were creating these, seeing that, and in some areas, it's more like 2, especially up in the Northeast Kingdom, because you just can't build the this without building a huge geographic region.
I wonder, Rep. Quimby, because you're from up in the Northeast Kingdom area. Did you have conversations about the Senate versus the House map up there, and which is preferable, or?
I have not had a lot of input received on comparing those two at this point.
I will say that we also started off very similar to what the Senate had, and the feedback we got was that just simply the geographic distance between Newport, which is the main hub, to everywhere else, was a long, long distance and, very different operating systems. To both put together in such a huge geographic region. So so you can sort of look at the upper right on hours. You've got, Canaan, which is a pre-K to 12. You've got all the Kingdom Choice, non-operating, no schools anywhere there. We kept them within the grouping that also has Linden Institute and Mount Ferry Academy, because that's where most of them send their 9 through 12 students to.
Mhm.
I will say we did have this configuration. The Senate configuration for my own school district, putting in the Cal Co-op at one point.
Yeah.
Put it in, took it out.
That's right.
We did go back.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because then we made a decision to honor supervisory union boundaries.
Yeah.
So,
Got it, okay.
And I guess that's just a geographically and operationally challenging swath of land.
Yeah,
And I'd say that the Franklin County one is geographically challenging because you got the lake in the way, but also at 9,000, that's a pretty high number.
Mhm.
So I don't think it's a problem to provide this one. I think we were just trying to get fewer.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate the intent. Yeah.
so you're okay with
I
the
think so.
Senate
Yeah,
or the House
the House, I
version,
think so.
group 12 and 11 up there?
I think so.
I wonder if we can, John, back on the Senate map, since that's somewhat still interactive. I don't think it's gonna make a big enough difference, but I was wondering if we pull the islands out of that Franklin County part that you guys have put together, could it get us down to a better number? But there's just not that many kids up there.
Into
I'd say just, let's see what the ADN is.
For 12?
The 887 for the islands
Still keeps it at about an 8,000.
and
Yes.
8,235 for grouping 12.
Still really big.
But is there any reason within those groupings that they can't look at? I don't know, also, it's not that they'll have, the point isn't always that they're all in one group in the end. They can divide themselves, as it makes sense as well.
Yes, I mean, the fact is, this is all guidance.
Yeah.
Which I keep saying, and I appreciate, I think, I would just say, however, the level to which we can focus the facilitators, they're gonna get a sense on the ground and say, actually, these lines should be adjusted slightly this way or that way. But to sort of say, here's a giant region with 9,000 kids.
just
might be
getting all
more
those,
challenging.
getting all those folks around a table and then having them figure out how to separate could be quite chaotic and lengthy, right?
It might be, it also might be good, also might be healthy.
Yeah.
But I'm not,
Yeah.
again,
I guess
not
I would-
arguing the point right now.
I would just say, we just shortened the timeline in the Senate proposal,
That's true.
which means that they're not gonna have a lot of time to have these initial conversations. They need to literally and figuratively hit the ground running because they're not gonna have time to do it unless they're set up to succeed.
Which also cuts both ways, though, just to be clear, because if we put that in place, it doesn't make sense to them, that's going to create its own problem. So I'm not, again, there's challenges around the whole thing, the whole concept. But
the Payne Mountain thing will bump up that central Vermont area. So you could sort of, we could sort of experiment there with a larger number.
that's a little tricky because we had two senators approach us.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not opposing, I'm saying that maybe we do it there.
Okay,
That's sort of one attempt. All right,
maybe even three, I can't remember.
I think I have my questions answered. But But if other people have other questions about the map and the ADM and all of that. So I see if there's any other sort of area that I was sort of. Let's see.
Uh, Can I just ask about this? There's Norwich, Fairleigh, Berkshire, and West Fairleigh. Those are both, those two white areas are both interstate districts?
Yeah.
Okay, are they the same interstate districts? No, they're two different ones. And then in between is Thetford.
Yes,
And so is that on both maps? They're going with the group above Fairleigh?
that is their SU.
Okay. Let's see, okay.
Just like the same as we have. It's gonna be an area. Okay, yeah, I get some. I appreciate the help, John, and maybe we might need the link, the interactive link to the Senate map posted. All that's up there now are the ones that I sent along. So I'm good. I don't know if anybody else has questions for John.
Well, can you actually, you had the question, Rep. Conlon, about CVU and Mount Mansfield being in a group. I'm wondering since CVU is quite big, it's 4,100 about, what is the Essex High School number that's the Essex Westford District? How many is the ADM there?
That'd be a question for John.
Yeah.
7,417.
Oh, wow.
For
Just the Essex Westford School.
Oh, this is the grouping.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm just asking for Essex Westford
Yeah.
alone. How big is
just-
that school?
Just the school district. Let's see.
big.
1,800.
1,800 Essex Westford total?
Essex and Westford together.
Sorry. Yeah. District 3,621, if that sound right. So
That could be right.
that's
That does sound right.
Essex. Okay, that includes Essex Junction, Essex Town, and Westford.
Yeah.
Mhm.
3,621 for that district?
Yes.
We currently have them, both, we have them just sort of solo, probably.
No, they're not solo, and I don't think in either map they're solo.
Who is group 15?
That's Essex Westford and.
Yes. A lot of other names in the way.
Yeah.
John, who is in the group?
Include.
In Senate.
Gina's the Champaign Valley District.
not in that's in the Senate map.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the,
All right, so the House is group 15 is the question.
What's
it
the
looks
question?
like,
In the House group 15, I just can't, there's a lot of superfluous stuff in the way in the PDF.
oh, maybe it is just.
I think it probably is.
In the House one, I think it's just,
The Senate one is.
in the Senate one.
Next to a couple other pages. Nope.
Yes. It is with Colchester and Milton in the Essex one. Or in the Senate one, sorry.
That's number,
That's number 13.
okay.
Glasses off so I can see.
Because it doesn't,
7,400 kids.
I just wonder about. Yes. I'm not sure exactly how to say that, but you know, I think you had mentioned, should we put these districts together and make everybody have a conversation about merging and proposed CBU and MMU, and I just wonder if it's, I on one hand think, oh, it's fair to have everybody have these conversations, and on the other hand, don't want to waste anybody's time. And I wonder, so then I was thinking, since CVU is so big, maybe we move MMU to with Essex Westford, but they're also quite big. So I just,
It's sort of geographically, MMU and CVU. There's a lot of hills in the way going in any direction. I'm not quite sure what the best option is.
yeah, I mean, I don't,
They're all sort of at scale. Probably we should have a conversation anyway. We could put the three of them together in a group for a conversation.
well, I mean, there's. Milton, Colchester and the islands all go together and
Yeah.
geographically, I don't know about. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Wow,
You really bought the coolest thing.
I know.
What is that?
That's where people drive.
Where they go.
Travel, traffic patterns.
I just think whatever map we determine, I just will say this again, we have to set everybody up for the easiest start possible.
Right.
We have taken away a year and the timeline in the proposal in the Senate, and we need to make sure that they can hit the ground running and are within groupings that make sense for them, have with already established relationships and
They're not necessarily the same things, so we have to just keep that in mind.
and that are going to lead to the highest percentage of success with the mergers, because otherwise we're just going to waste everybody's time. If they have to spend like 3 months getting to know each other, they're never going to be able to. And if you're already in a SU, you're already in a CISA, you're already in a community that travels together and does sports together and kids went to daycare together and all those things, it's going to be a lot easier than if we create lines. Like, that's one of the reasons, like looking at the Northeast Kingdom, it's a huge geographic area. I don't know what the relationship, you live there, not me, but the relationships across that span are. I think it's just, we want to and need to set these conversations up for success. Otherwise, people are not going to merge in the timeline, especially the timeline that we've given them, that we're proposing in our map.
I think everybody agrees setting up for success is good.
Yeah, that's start, I would say, when you're talking about proposals, I would say our proposal would be to not move the boundaries as proposed by the House in the southern part of the state where there is an existing CISA boundary, that would be pulling people out of that already sort of legally obligated arrangement. And I would just say, for the time being, it's all guidance. If the guidance person gets down there and says, these people say, that's not the way we want to go, they can do that.
And then you're also proposing splitting the kingdom up because it's too big for a
Yes.
relationship.
Yeah, I would say, so, I mean, not to, I'm trying to find room for compromise over something that is guidance anyway. But because it's basically, these are just sort of inescapable facts, and that is the distance of the Northeast Kingdom. That is that the proposed group up in Franklin County at 9,100 is probably too many. That there is the existing CISA boundary that is a, sort of a legal entity there. The Wells Middletown Springs thing, I think sounds fine. I think if you got sort of strong on boardness with Payne Mountain, give it a shot. Yeah.
And then we already had some agreement on the islands, right?
Yeah.
From there.
Yeah.
So we'll take that all in.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay, you don't need it written.
Um,
I'll try to
It's fairly-
scratch that.
yeah,
I'll try to scratch that.
Okay, great.
I think I know where the little bit of issue
It would be
is.
helpful if you could write it up. Thanks.
Do you want to take a 2-minute break or do you want to jump into something else?
I could take a 2-minute break, frankly.
Is that okay, sir?
Sure. We'll go, stay live, but go off.
Thanks, John. It's going live, but go off. What does that mean?
Sound off.
If you do want the house numbers now, I do have them pulled up in the builder.
Oh. So fast.
I don't have any questions about ours, so you do.
Great. Happy to look at it.
Yeah, we can look at it. If we
Yeah.
can look at it on the
Awesome.
builder, that's. Thank you.
I'll
Just for, like,
follow up with the links.
Why don't